The question is, why do Americans always refer to people's color, i.e. black versus white? Well, let's talk about that specific example. The white American experience is very different than the black American experience. Real quick history note, if you don't know, the United States was built by slaves, and the legacy of slavery is the reason racism is so systemic in this country, which essentially just means that racism is steeped into all of our institutions. This is why in Black and brown communities, there is a school to prison pipeline that has led to mass incarceration of these communities. This is why in Black communities and districts, they tend to be heavily gerrymandered so as to make the votes not as powerful. Black women are up to 4 times more likely to die due to pregnancy-related complications than white women. Black women also have to navigate their own intersectional erasure from feminist movements that refuse to take into account their own specific experience and how that's different than the sexism that white women experience. Now, the second part of your question, you kind of brought up that in Colombia, people are just referred to as Colombianas. They don't say black this or white that. Well, this brings us to the issue of colorism. Now, colorism simply just means that people with lighter skin benefit from privileges because of their light skin and their proximity to whiteness. Now, colorism runs rampant in all communities. In the Black community, they used to have the paper bag test, which meant if your skin was lighter than a brown paper bag, it was seen as preferable. Speaking as someone who is a light-skinned Black woman, a mixed-race Black woman who benefits from those privileges, I am aware of the fact that I navigate certain spaces with more ease than my darker-skinned brothers, sisters, non-binary friends do. That's just the truth of the matter. Now, in Latinx communities, colorism manifests in the way that Afro-Latinx people tend to be completely erased from representation in the media, from historical representations of Latinx communities. All of this is very real, and it is in Asian communities as well. Colorism is something that needs to be discussed and talked about more. Then you even get into people who are Swana identifying, which means Southwest Asian, North African. It's a better way of referring to people who were formerly called Middle Eastern, who across the board are listed as being white, but most people who are from the Swana region do not look white and are not white passing. So there's a flaw to the way that we categorize race in the United States. Yes, absolutely. But that being said, it is still important that we do talk about the different experiences that people have in this country based on their race and based on their complexion and how light-skinned or darker-skinned they are. I hope that this helped answer your question. Thank you for asking.